A long time ago, in the heart of the Oru forest, nestled between rivers and red clay hills, was a proud village called Umuoji. Its people were known for their music, beauty, and festive traditions. But among them lived a young woman whose life was a melody turned bitter. Her name was Meka. They said she was cursed. But the truth was something far more ordinary, and yet far more tragic. This is her story. Meka was stunning. Her skin glowed like oiled bronze, her eyes like river stones in moonlight. She laughed easily and danced like the wind, and yet no man dared to marry her. Every time suitors approached, they left quickly. At the festivals, warriors would admire her until she spoke. Then they'd whisper, wrinkle their noses, and slip away. One old gossip in the market said, "That girl, she has the mouth of a graveyard. Spirits live in her breath." Meka couldn't understand. She bathed daily, wore fragrant oils, and kept her body immaculate. But still, people avoided her words like poison arrows, and no one had the heart to tell her why. One night, after being rejected yet again at the New Yam festival, Meka ran into the forest and collapsed by the river, weeping. There, an old woman with ivory bangles and a basket of herbs found her. "Elder, why do you cry, child of clay and moonlight?" Meka sobbed. "I don't know what I did wrong. They say I'm cursed. They laugh when I speak. The love I crave is always just out of reach." The old woman inhaled gently and smiled with pity. "You are not cursed, my dear. You suffer from the invisible odor, a silent affliction of the mouth, not from the spirits, but from within." Meka was stunned. "You must cleanse your tongue, wash your mouth with sun mint leaves, chew bitter root, and drink from the stream at dawn. Your mouth is not cursed, it is neglected." Meka nodded through tears. She had a name for her pain at last, halitosis. As Meka began her cleansing ritual, she met a traveler named Oba, a humble drummer from a faraway village. He was soft-spoken, with eyes full of kindness and a drum always slung on his back. Oba would sit by her as she rinsed her mouth in the stream and offer her beats of encouragement. "Dance, even if they laugh. Smile, even if they turn away." They became friends. Then more. One night under the fireflies, Oba whispered, "Meka, I don't care what they say. You are music to me. Let me go to your father and ask for your hand." Tears filled her eyes. Could this be love? She agreed. As weeks passed, Meka's breath sweetened like honey tea. Her mouth no longer betrayed her. People leaned in when she spoke. The whispers stopped. Suddenly, everyone wanted Meka. The same men who mocked her now lined up with gifts and marriage proposals. Meka changed. Her head tilted higher. Her words became sharp. She began to feel that Oba, the humble drummer, was beneath her. "He's a nobody, from a poor family. I deserve more," she told herself. When Oba returned with his elders to formally ask for her hand, Meka turned him away at the village square, publicly. "I cannot marry a man who plays drums for coins," she said with a mocking laugh. "I'm sought by chiefs and traders now." Oba looked at her long and silently. "I loved you before your breath turned sweet, but now your heart has turned bitter," and he walked away. In her pride, Meka began to neglect her new habits. She stopped rinsing, stopped scraping, and indulged in her favorite garlic soups and fermented brews. The bad breath returned, worse than before. But no one dared tell her, because now she was royalty. She was feared. That is until the day of the great wedding contest, a festival of suitors. Meka had invited powerful men from across the lands to compete for her hand. As she rose to address the crowd, a powerful chief fainted near her from the smell. Another walked away in silence. The whispers began again, louder than ever, and for the first time in months, Meka felt small again. As Meka stood alone in shame, a tall figure stepped forward from the crowd. It was Oba, but not the Oba she remembered. He was dressed in golden robes, a royal crest on his chest, his eyes still soft but distant. Whispers shot through the crowd. "That's Prince Oba, the second son of King Oloye from the east." Meka gasped. She had rejected a prince in disguise, because she could not see his worth. He looked at her one last time and said, "I played drums because I loved the people, not because I lacked power. I wanted someone who saw me before my name." Then he turned and never looked back. The villagers still remember Meka's story, not because of her beauty, but because of what pride, neglect, and shame can do to a person. Never reject those who stood by you when you had nothing, because genuine love is rare, and once lost, may never return. If this story touched your heart, leave a comment below. What lesson did you learn from Meka's journey? And remember, hygiene is not just about appearances, it's about respect for yourself and for others. Causes of halitosis. 1. Poor oral hygiene. Not brushing or flossing regularly allows food particles and bacteria to build up, leading to bad breath. 2. Gum disease, periodontitis. 3. Dry mouth, xerostomia. 4. Food choices. Garlic, onions, and certain spicy foods can contribute to bad breath. 5. Smoking and tobacco use. 6. Medical conditions, sinus infections, etc. How to prevent and treat halitosis. Practice good oral hygiene, stay hydrated, drink plenty of water to prevent dry mouth. Clean your tongue, chew sugar-free gum, help stimulate saliva flow. Quit smoking, eliminates tobacco-related bad breath. Like, comment your biggest takeaway. Subscribe for more heart-touching African tales on health. Subscribe for more life-changing stories. Share this with someone you care about.